Good day to you one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Here I am, beaming to you live and, well, not live actually, but direct from Kristiansand in Norway. I've got a show here in a couple of days, so just taking in some of the ambience of this beautiful town, city. I don't know what it is actually, but it's nice. It's sunny as well, so I'll probably go for a swim a bit later. But anyway, this episode is slightly different, as you can probably tell. I'm not in my familiar sort of YouTube studio surroundings. But I wanted to do this one today because I'm talking about something that's been making me sad. There's amongst the community of YouTube reaction folk like myself and the others who I'll list later. There's a guy called the Professor of Rock, and unfortunately he's struggling to keep his channel going because of the way the YouTube game has changed in recent times. So I'm going to talk about that, lament this the end of this sort of golden era of reactions, and have a think about, perhaps a brainstorm in fact, about what to do next. All right guys, lots of love to you. Justin Hawkins Rides Again. That's what my guitar fingers would normally do. Again. Norway. Again. Okay, so in this episode I'm going to be talking about the Professor of Rock. I'm sure many of you already know who he is. But for those of you that don't, Adam Reeder is better known as the Professor of Rock on YouTube. He started his channel in 2016, and in his own words, it's a platform celebrating the power of music, featuring stories of the greatest songs and artists of the rock era as told by the artists themselves. And that's exactly what he does. He's a great interviewer. He's interviewed Brian Wilson, Daryl Hall, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice. Well, we can forgive him for that, don't worry. But he's not just a reviewer or an interviewer, he's a storyteller as well, like his episode about the origins of Led Zeppelin, and also like his long-form analysis of Don McLean's American Pie, one of my favourite songs, and I love singing it as well, all 20 verses of it, much to the chagrin of those in attendance.
I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widow bride.
But nonetheless, I do love that song, and I think the things that he makes are just really great things to watch. Yeah, you can't argue with the quality of the Professor of Rock's content.
It's the story of America's most iconic sonic surfers. In
a time when social media favours the bite size, the Professor of Rock continues to serve us delicious and nutritious meals. Not literally, but you know what I'm talking about. But on Monday, this appeared on his channel, and a comment pinned by the professor explained, "This will be my last top 10 album countdown until I can figure out music. I'm getting hammered for playing so many different songs, even though it's part of fair use. But because there are so many different songs involved, it's killing my videos, and it already takes so much effort to put these countdowns together. Please bear with me as I try to figure it out. Thanks." It left some viewers confused, but in a live stream, he went on to explain what was happening.
I haven't slept much, trying to solve this problem. I'm doing, the big hits from the album. I'm doing the best song from the album. I'm doing the hidden gem. I just got slammed with claims. I got so frustrated because what happens is when you start getting all these things happening with the claims, you can either fight it, which takes forever, or they take it down, or your channel's in trouble. It also, if you take it out, then it mutes the video, or mutes the song, or takes it out, and it takes people out of the video. This morning I put up Michael Anthony, incredible interview about Van Halen, the debut album, and he told me stories that I've never heard. And he talked about AC/DC. He said that AC/DC was a huge influence on Van Halen. And he cited the song that was an influence on that first album. And so I played it, and I played 5 seconds of it, and we got blocked.
I can absolutely feel his pain. Same thing's happening to us as well. Like, I don't know if you remember, but a little while ago I did a comments episode which was talking about, I was reacting to all of the comments when they say things like, "Oh yeah, how comes you only play like 3 seconds of music? How are you supposed to react to it when you've only heard that little bit?" But what you have to understand is that when we're doing this, I'm listening to a longer section of the song, and then my producer is obliged to edit that down so that we don't get copyright strikes and stuff. And it used to be, you used to be able to use about 5 or 6 seconds. Now you can only use 3. It's a complete nightmare. I can only imagine what it's like if you're trying to do something that the Professor of Rock is doing, when you know, you've got a whole list of songs from different artists and different, you know, record company infrastructures and so on to try and navigate. And they're using some kind of advanced thinking computer technology, probably AI or something equally evil and nefarious, to be super hot on those things and save. I don't know whether there's a way of you know, playing the stuff back at a different speed or trimming it differently, but it's just making it impossible to do this. So yeah, I completely concur and I empathise, actually, which is I don't know. I mean, it's really difficult to justify, isn't it? If you're talking about a piece of music and you can't actually play any of it to demonstrate the points that you're making, how are you supposed to do that? It's like, are you supposed to just talk about it? I mean, somebody very clever indeed, very wise, said, what is that? They said, talking about music is like dancing to architecture. I mean, I'll do that all day long, to be honest. I saw a brutalist building a couple of blocks away, which made me feel like moonwalking, actually. That's the brutalist moonwalk. No, I'm not helping matters by being facetious or facetious or whatever the word is. Facetious, I think, because it sounds a bit like shitty, doesn't it? All right. I know it's complicated, but I'm going to try and break it down for you as I stroll around this idyllic Norwegian city town. That's it. Sound. Whenever you upload a video to YouTube, it goes through a series of checks, and very often it will find copyright protected content, and it doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds or 50. At best, the copyright owner will allow you to show your video, but it won't be monetized, or it might be blocked. A copyright strike, as opposed to a claim, can result in your channel being taken down altogether. And there are legal arguments like fair use in the US and fair dealing in the UK, which allows some content to be used for criticism or review. And you can submit a form on YouTube disputing the claim on those grounds, but it doesn't always work, even on a channel that's devoted to reviews. I mean, there are ways around it, I suppose. If you can you can get your channel whitelisted by certain artists or labels if you have an agreement with them that you'll do like a glittering review. But if you do a hatchet job, I mean, I never do that, obviously, but you know, you can't really be impartial in that instance, can you? Because you're sort of saying, yeah, do you mind if I review this? And then you say something shitty about it, or even remotely kind of sarcastic about it, you're out. So that means that I don't know, I suppose YouTube just isn't a suitable platform for reviews. Is that what's happening here? Certainly not impartial ones, anyway. I don't know how to approach this, really. But anyway, yeah, so sometimes, even after you've been whitelisted, you find that you might pass the copyright checks, so on and so forth, and then a few days later, it's failed again, or they've changed their mind, you're not whitelisted anymore. It's just impossible. Nigh on impossible. No, it's possible. It's just really tedious. I think when you watch any of the reviewers that I like, people like the Professor of Rock, Rick Beato, Anthony Fantano or Danny Sapko, you can tell they're doing it because they love music. All right, Danny is often pissing about.
There's a certain imposition which targets the musician by some well-disguised and crafty businessmen.
But ultimately, it's a shared passion. Anyway, you're going to have to use the comment section here to let me know what you think. Adam has vowed to fight on and find a way through this. I mean, that's a testament to how much he loves music, I suppose, isn't it? It's a bit more than just a job, this thing, but it's infuriating, it's time-consuming, and I don't know what the solution is long-term, so perhaps you could use the comment section below to suggest an approach that might work for all of us, really. Meanwhile, you know, it's very difficult to get anything monetized, so if you do feel like supporting me, please don't hesitate to go over to my Patreon. There's a link to it in the description. Use the comments to tell me what you think of all this stuff. It's not just me that's affecting, it's everybody. And I will see you cats on the ice. Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Through the town of Kristiansand, or city, I think it is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, watch one of these two videos, and I'll see you cats in the water. All right, nice one. On the ice. On the ice. Okay.